Hi, today is July 14 and it's currently 4:43 p.m. Eastern Time. And today I'm gonna speak a bit more than I usually do. So today is day 22 and I am I've been officially 24 for more than a week and I have genuinely been thinking about a lot of things these couple of days. And the start is to start. I have figured out most of the things that I want to do in life, but there are some that I need to figure out. Uh, I have, I'm 24, as I've said, but it's not like I'm just beginning life. I went to college, not college, university when I was 17. I went into school when I was 3. So I went. Sorry, I got out of high school a bit early. So 17, I was in university first year. As you know, I have seen some. Let's say I've seen some things. Enjoyed life. Had some perspective. Um, when I was 17, I was I had a clear goal. I wanted to be a, I don't know, software developer, and the university I got into um, didn't have that 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 actual department altogether. They said they had, but you know they didn't. But so I was lost again. I had nothing in mind, so I aimlessly just went to class, went back to class, just watched movies, played games, let time pass through. I wasn't worried about money because at that time I really didn't have any expectation. I didn't even need that much money. So a few years passed, and not a few years actually. After I finished the first year, went into the second year, I needed to choose the major, which I actually had no idea what to choose. I went into chemical engineering, and then after a year and a half into choosing my department, I dropped out. And then I dropped out because there was this cloud computing course, that gave out certifications, the AWS, as well as the what was it called again? Salesforce, yeah, certifications. But I went there. I studied day to day. It was a bit of a struggle. I had to ask my mom and dad for transport money to go from my aunt's house, which I was living from, to the university. And I got the certification. I took the test, and then there was nothing. There's no job. I couldn't apply because I had no degree. There's a lot of problems and flaws because I wanted a job but didn't have experience, and to get experience, I need to learn something. And to learn something, they usually ask for degree. To learn something good, they always ask for something like a degree. So because of my pride and ego, I couldn't do anything that was actually worthwhile. So I wallowed in self pity, watching movies, staying in my aunt's house like a bum. And there's a there's a lot of stories and while living in a lot of things, but um, a lot of things changed when somebody that I cared about left my life, not like in a literal sense, but figuratively left. And I had to rethink my life. It was 2 years ago, and actually, it overlapped with my uncle who passed away. It was like two. It was like 2 weeks from each other, you know, and everything was spiraling out of control. I was in a really, really bad place, mentally as well as financially. Physically, I don't, I don't even like actually worry about my physical because I did workouts for a couple of years before I went to college, so I had some muscle that needed to be burned off. Not needed to be, but that still sustained my body. Now everything is gone. I have this big belly that I'm trying to get rid of. Um, so let me go back on track. Uh, get back on track, and yeah, I had to rethink everything. And about I think, yeah, 2 years ago, after everything that happened, um, my dad came here, built this place up, and gave us the key, me and my brother, and he went back to our hometown, and that gave us, I don't know, a place to call home here. Me and my brother moved out here, and we've been living here ever since. And I was, I don't know, I was still wallowing in a lot of shit that I went through. So from 17 to 24, that's a span of 7 years. I was doing nothing. I was earning money here and there, but nothing much. I did get a job as a dispatcher. Uh, I didn't even last 3 months. Actually, I lasted 3 months. For the 2 months, they didn't pay me. For the last month, they paid me. And when I, quit, they actually asked me to return the money they gave me. Anyways, uh, after that, I did a lot of this, this and that. A lot of freelancing work. I kept myself a bit of afloat, but still, I was getting funded by my parents. Here and there, not always, but here and there, like maybe twice or like 3 times or 4 times a year. And yeah, that was the only thing that kept me going. My brother, he was working, so he was paying for groceries, the Wi-Fi, for this, that, every single thing. It was embarrassing, but I don't know when I've decided this change, but I think I was in an extremely bad place where I was going into some something I couldn't get back from. And a friend of mine came here to, like, from my hometown. He came here to live, to start a new life. And actually, a friend of mine, he was one of my best friends. So when he came here, he gave me purpose to life. I didn't see anything that's meaningful anymore. Like, I didn't even care about money, what it could buy. I was content in living life just like this, on my mattress with Wi-Fi. Nothing. Like maybe go out in a farm, just Nothing. I wasn't materialistic. I wasn't looking for anything that's, I could even live with water, with some beans. I didn't care. And he brought me back from the brink. You have no idea like how, you know. And from then on, I promised myself that I can reach this because a friend of mine, he reached this, and all of my friends, they were earning a decent money, but they were not, in a place where they can actually be, yeah, actually say, I'm really doing really good. I can do this. I can buy this. No, they were just going by not paycheck to paycheck like some of my friends, but like they were doing decent. That's the only thing I can say. And because I was cooped up in this kind of square cube that's called my room, I wouldn't even leave my room, and the depression that was slowly killing me. I didn't even know I was depressed. Like there are times that I would really, really feel depressed, and that time I would actually say I was depressed, but the rest of the time I was just chill, nothing, And I never believed in depression, and that's because it's kind of state of mind that you give yourself, that you, I don't know, I don't even know what a depressed person actually feels like. But after hanging out with friends, and getting that, getting another perspective, I found out how it's totally different. What I was in, what kind of place I've been, that was actually called depression. All the songs I've been listening to, that's depressing songs to them. For me, it was just easy, relaxing songs. And it was funny. But the good thing is that I moved away from all of those. For 7 years, I was aimlessly doing this and that, and people think that you don't have to you don't have to figure out everything when you're in your 20s. But how far I've come, the 7 years I have wasted. Actually, I have also wasted more than 7 years. Even when I was in high school, there's a lot of things that I needed to work on, which I never did. But the isolation here kind of gave me the time and the time I needed to develop as a person. I um, it's kind of funny. Uh, the time I actually wallowed in self pity, depression, and so on and so forth. But that 7 years gave me the self growth I needed, the mental maturity that I needed. I'm not uh, fully mature or fully outgrown anything, but it gave me a kind of step up from where I was. Um, those 7 years were not actually wasted. In a sense, they gave me a jump start to where I'm going. And with this filmmaking, not filmmaking per se, but with this um, videos, with this journey that I'm filming, it's I'm growing step by step, and I'm kind of documenting my journey from where I am. I literally have nothing in my bank account. I am living here in Ethiopia, where I have disadvantage in where I want to reach. You have to have money, connections, so on. I have almost no connections except my friends from high school. uh, I will figure out a lot of things along the way. You know, um, I have my parents, but I don't think I'm gonna bother them anymore. As I'm living here, I need to figure out a way to that so that I can manage my own life, not bother anybody. That's why you know, I'm really trying to move out of this place. Not in a sense I'm saying that I'm financially free. The moment I get, a bit of money, I'm moving out. No, why I want to move out is because I want this. I want to lead a life I want without anybody's intervention. Even if there are mistakes, I want to fix those mistakes by myself, not relying, on anybody else anymore. And after 25, you are not kind of that teenager anymore. That your teen years have passed. You know, like even if you're 21, 22, 23, 24, you know, you're in this still a kind of mindset where you're still a teen with your parents. After a while, though, you see yourself as not a child anymore. I can never give a genuine advice because I never think of myself as a person that actually is grown enough to give advice. But you know, uh, this has to stop. So my journey, as I'm trying to document, is from Addis Ababa. It's 2026. I'm 24. I want to be a millionaire, but not in a sense I'm trying to mm, be a millionaire just by these quick hacks or get rich quick schemes. I'm actually gonna do the work like continuously because I have like been in a state of mind where I've been alone and like not in a sense of being alone as being alone, but uh, I can see myself working day by day without expecting anything from anybody, like not praise, not nothing. So that's one good thing that I got from the 7 years. uh, I don't know. I'm trying to articulate what I'm trying to say in English, but everything that's coming to my mind is in Amharic. But I'm strictly going to keep it in English. So if my English is a bit off, just keep with it. Just get, just stay with me. I will correct it step by step as I talk more often, and because I'm going to film this daily, I'm going to improve. So yeah. um yeah, the $1 million is just starting point. I have a plan, that I've crafted. I'll show you when I start editing the videos. I'll show you the plan. If you need a plan to move forward in your 20s. If you don't, you will drift around aimlessly. Like I am the perfect example for this. I had never had a plan. Like literally, even like setting $100,000 as a goal would have been great for me. But no, I had too much ego. Like not like, for example, I want to state one thing also. You you saying you don't have an ego is actually an ego. Everybody has an ego, but like make it so that that ego pushes you forward instead of putting you back. not even making you move at all. So having a plan is the most important thing when you're in your 20s. You can, if you're like, if you're saying just I want to make $1 million, that's just destination. You don't know how to how to reach that goal. Like for example, if you want to go from uh, New York, New York to Miami, the destination is Miami, but you don't know how to get there, by plane, by train, by car, by bike. There's a lot of ways to go. Hitchhiking, who knows? And you don't even know how the road yet. There are a lot of interstates. uh, I'm stating the United States because I've worked in dispatching and I know a bit of the routes. That's why. But you know, having your goal is good, but you also need to figure out how to maneuver to reach that goal. So, like for me, if I said I want to have that million in the bank, that's let's say that's phase 4 or phase 5. But before that, I have to figure out phase 4, and before phase 4, phase 3, and so on and so forth. And phase 1 is always maybe getting skills or getting employed, something like that. It's always getting your first step in. And phase 2 would be generating a steady amount of this, and after you get this amount, you move to another, or you have a side hustle, you go into, so on and so forth. I currently have nothing that I can actually show you, but later on I'll definitely show you this. uh, and that's how it goes, step by step. If you Yeah, there's a kind of analogy. If you uh, let's say there's a mountain, and if you're going on a hike, and you're at the bottom, like at the very bottom, and there's a straight staircase. I think staircase. I don't know. So there's a straight staircase going to the very top. If you think if you think about reaching the top at the very bottom, it's gonna be heavy to like it's gonna be impossible. Like it's gonna be exhausting to you. But if you just think about like getting the first step or the first 5 steps, now you can do those, and then afterwards you do the next and the next and the next, and before you know it, you're at the top. That's it. That's how easy it is. But we kind of predict the future, like worry. Like there was this video I saw today. Worrying is you picturing a future where you fail, like, and you don't predict it. You just assume the worst and just you know keep yourself down. Like for example, if I open the shop and I don't get customers, I lose a lot of this money and so on, and you kill that thing before it ever like actually launches. So, but if you actually launch that thing and you don't get customers for a month, you keep going, and when you're about to close on the third month, customers pick up. You got 1,000 customers at once. They pay for the next month, and now you get attraction because of the people who came for before. You get attraction for the people from the people that came, and the people they tell another people, their friends, their family members, so on and so forth, and you blow up. But you never get the chance to actually do those things if you never start. So have a plan and actually do the plan. Never think about anything else. Like for example, me, I've been sitting here. I had a plan, and after those, after that plan, I created a detailed structure, like mind map, everything. Uh, Now I was stuck at the niche of that business, and I found one, but I needed three. But instead of waiting until I find the three things, I'm just going to focus on the one until I have something I can move to, the second idea or the third idea. So I just found the one niche today, so I'm going to start tomorrow immediately. Nothing else. I don't even know how to edit. That would actually be considered good, but I will learn along the way. I would watch a 30-minute video or a 3-hour video if I have to. Then I would create the video and post it tomorrow. That's a promise I'm willing to make now. So yeah, I hope I don't break my promise. So yeah. Oh, by the way, another thing, that guy in Dubai received my package and will probably bring it tomorrow. So I will juggle two things at once, like this business and that business, the reselling business. So yeah, that's what I have for you today. And yeah, okay, bye.